In this video, we'll go over an example of using the AC method of factoring a trinomial where the leading coefficient is not 1. Now remember, the first thing to do for any factoring question is, can you factor out the greatest common factor? Now in this case, we have 6x squared minus 23x plus 20. So there is no common factor that we could factor out. So we next see, okay, let's use the AC method. So remember, the first thing to do is to multiply the leading coefficient times the constant. So that'll be the 6 times 20. So that'll be 120. And then we got to find two numbers whose product is the 120, whose sum is the middle coefficient of negative 23. Now, just to show you one way to do it, like to find those pairs of numbers, because that's probably the most difficult step, is finding those pairs. You could go through finding all possible pairs of numbers whose product is 120 and see which one has a sum of negative 23. Now one thing, since their product is a positive number, they have to have the same signs, and since their sum is supposed to be a negative value, they must both be negative. So let's see, one possibility would be negative 1, negative 120. Well, the sum of those would be negative 121, so that wouldn't be good. So negative 2, negative 60. So that sum would be negative 62. Negative 3, negative 40. So that would be a sum of negative 43. So negative 4, negative 30. So that would be a sum of negative 34. So we're getting closer. Then it would be negative 5 and negative 24. That would be negative 29. So again, still getting closer. Then it would be negative 6, negative 20, so negative 26. And then next you could have negative 8 and negative 15. Well, in this case, those two do have a sum of negative 23. Now the last one, if we had to keep going, would be negative 10 and negative 12. Okay, so we found the pair of numbers whose product is this 120, because negative 8 times negative 15 is also 120, but their sum is that middle coefficient of negative 23. So we rewrite the middle term using those two values. So instead of negative 23x, we use negative 8x and then the negative 15x. So we get 6x squared minus 8x minus 15x plus 20. Then we use factor by grouping, so we group together the first two terms. So we have 6x squared minus 8x. Group together the next pair of terms. Now since there is a negative sign between the second and third term, we factor out that negative sign for the next pair. So this will be minus the quantity 15x minus 20. So then you factor the GCF from each pair. So for the first two, we could factor out a 2x, and we'd have left over 3x minus 4. And then from the second pair, we could factor out a 5, and we'd have left over 3x minus 4. Now again, that's an indication that we're doing things right, because what's inside those two parentheses are the same thing. So we factor out that 3x minus 4. And let's see, we'd have left over that 2x, and then the minus 5. Now we could check our answer by multiplying this out. So we'd have what? 3x times 2x gives us the 6x squared. Then the 3x times negative 5, that'll be minus 15x. And then negative 4 times 2x, that'll be minus 8x. So that'll give us the sum of negative 23x. And the negative 4 times negative 5 will give you that positive 20. So that is the correct factorization of that problem.